So this is just a reminder that the size of an angle is the amount of rotation or turn from one side to the other. So it's an actual movement that if we start here and I want to make 90 degrees, then I have to take the other side and move it all the way up to 90 degrees. And now that is considered to be the angle. So it's this turn or rotation from here to here that makes it 90 degrees. Okay, sometimes it helps students understand the 90 degrees and 180 degrees by using their arms to try it out. So what you can do is you can have them hold their arms out to the side, hold your arms out to the side, and then tell them what angle to make. So Ella, will you make a 180 degree angle? So then she's going to open it up to make a 180 degree angle. Okay, put your arms back. Now make a 90 degree angle. Okay, and then your bottom arm is down a little bit, so hold it up a little bit more. Up, up, hand up a little bit. Nope, the other one, the bottom arm. There you go. Okay, and then put your arms back again and make a 360 degree angle. Woo! Okay, how about an acute angle? So put your arm back again. Okay, make an acute angle. Remember acute? Less than 90. Acute is less than 90. Okay, so put your arms back again, make an obtuse angle. There you go, more than 90 but less than 180. And so by doing this, kids can get a more physical understanding of what angles are and then be able to apply it to their homework and their math that they're doing. Okay, another thing that you can work with kids on is if you compare angles in the clock. So you can ask them questions like, what is the measure of an angle formed on a clock when the minute hand points to the 12? So here we go. The minute hand points to the 12 and the hour hand points to the 6. You can talk about what angle is formed there when it does that. Okay, and our answer, of course, would be a 180 degree angle. Or we could say, what is the measure of the angle formed on a clock when the minute hand points to the 12 and the hour hand points to the 3? And then hopefully they'll say a 90 degree. And you can keep on going with different angles to be acute angles or obtuse. And they don't necessarily have to know the angle of the acute angle, but they could just say, well, that's an acute angle or that's an obtuse angle. Okay, I want to remind you, and this is something to remind your child if they're not sure, but that little block there, and if you have an angle and you have a little block, that automatically means it's 90 degrees. That's our symbol for 90 degrees. And then one of the big things that we do in this section is talk about missing angles, and we need to find them. And so the students should have learned that if we take all of our angles and add them up, it adds up to 180 degrees. So one of their activities that they have to do is find the missing angle. And you see here that we have 100 degrees and 50 degrees, and so we have this missing one. And we know that these three have to add up to 180 degrees. Now, one of the things that we emphasize in class is math talk, meaning we don't just want to get kids to an answer. We want to hear their reasoning, because the more they talk about the reasonings, the more they're able to think about math. And so, we encourage you to do that at home too. Just because they come up with an answer of 30, how did you get that? What did you do? Now, there's a couple different ways people can do this. Some kids will say, well, I know that it's supposed to be 180 degrees. These three are supposed to add 180 degrees. So what I did is I took 180 and I subtracted the 50 because that was one of the angles. So I got 130. And then I took 130 and I subtracted 100. So I subtracted the other angle and that left me with 30. So then that means I have to have 30 as my missing angle. Or you might have other kids say, well, the two angles that I know are 100 and 50. So I took 100 plus the 50, and I found out that was 150 degrees. So then, because they add up to 180, I take 180 degrees minus 150 degrees, and I'm left with 30 degrees. Either way, you're getting 30 degrees, but it's a great thing to have them talk that through. And you can even say, well, is there another way you could have done it? And ask them if they can figure it out another way. The more we get kids thinking about math, the more we get them talking about math, the better thinkers they're going to be and the easier time they're going to have as they get older and have far more complicated problems to do.